Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Third Atlantic Studios, your host, Joel. That's me. Again, it's so weird saying my name in that accent. And some guy, Ed. This is week 2.
Yes.
Week 1 just went away.
Yes, it did. I'm glad.
How
it
we
did.
doing, Ed? How you doing?
Yeah, not too good. Did you manage to get a chance to watch most of the games on Sunday? I didn't get a chance to watch too many. I went to a bar in Camden, Blue Cheese, and they showed the games there. But at one point, they had 5 different events on. They had Liverpool Leeds on. They had Serie A on. They were just about to show Red Zone, and they had the Falcons game on. Falcons Eagles, and on my phone I was trying to watch the Jags game. So like 5 or 6 things going on at the same time, trying to watch it. But God bless Red Zone.
Anyway, so I had the Steelers and the Bills going obviously in that first window, and then the second window I think I just had Red Zone on, and then the third I think I maybe watched it. I didn't really watch it, and then we're here now. So I didn't my usual setup. Obviously, is get up a couple of screens, have 2 or 3 going at the same time. So I'll have the Steelers, the match, Steelers game, and then Red Zone going at the same time, whatever time that is. And then I'll have whatever Sky game is going on at that time, and then I have Red Zone again. And that's on my deep days, and I'm going to obviously watch the late games on Sky because it's exclusive. But this week I was after that first, we got Thursday going, Friday morning for us. I've watched the majority of that. Then Steelers and Bills won, and then I had to go and live life at that point. My bit was done. Then we watched a bit of Red Zone. Oh, and playing Madden at the same time. That's really what it was. So I couldn't do my multi-screen setup because I was playing Madden throughout the whole thing. Obviously, free weekend. Had to get involved.
I was watching the Jags game on my phone whilst all the other games were going on, and it wasn't. So we'll talk about week 1. So for those of you new, the way it works is that throughout the week we take in turns to pick a team for a matchup. The other person then gets the other team, and whoever gets the most wins via their teams obviously wins. Last week, Joel, out of our 16 picks, you won 10-6. I had a bit of a mare, but it's a week 1. It's a week 1.
I mean, we're just carrying on what happened. It's nothing new. We're just carrying on going on with the flow.
Between us, we had 8 incorrect picks. Most of them were mine, which is why you won. So my incorrect picks were: I picked the Jags against the Texans. I picked the Falcons against the Eagles. I picked the Bills against the Steelers. I picked the Titans against the Cardinals. And the Baltimore Ravens over the Las Vegas Raiders.
Your ones that went wrong though. Some of them, they went terribly wrong.
The only ones that went terribly wrong, I would say, were Titans.
Yes, no, but that one was inexplicably terribly wrong. There was no reason for that game to play out how it played out.
So some of my very quick takeaways, because I got so many wrong. I got so many embarrassing. Let me quickly just go through. Actually, I'll go through one. I'll go through 2 of them, and then obviously once we get to the picks for the second part, when we talk about the picks for next week, we'll talk about them a bit more. Jags Texans. Let me quickly just get this over and done with.
Go for it.
Let me ask this. That Saxonville defense, let's say Saxonville, you know what I mean? The year when Jags beat Steelers in the playoffs, you remember that year. How many of those starters on defense do you reckon are starters right now?
1?
Yes. Do you remember who that is?
Mars Jack?
Yeah. He's the only starter that was there then that's still here now. The rest of that whole defense, I mean, to be fair, it was the same last year, but I just wanted to emphasize it this year as well, that we've still just got that one player from that team, which I find just so fascinating. But anyway, that's just something randomly I wanted to bring up.
But what I'm going to say to that, a little rebuttal is we didn't even think the Texans were going to be able to field a team this year. All the fires going on that side, it was ridiculous.
I think it's one of those where, because the Texans have been just revolving around Deshaun Watson so much, and it's just been a one-man show, you assume the rest of the team is super shit, which is what I did. They do have some talented players, but I don't know how much of it. The Jags love getting penalties. They love our 2 biggest runs of the first half were both chalked off because of holding penalties from our all-pro center, which is super annoying to watch. Juwan Taylor, right tackle, got a couple of holding penalties. it was really annoying the amount of shitty penalties we get. So we had a couple formation penalties, which come on. But yeah, anywho, whatever. We'll skip past that. Falcons Eagles, that was one of the games that they were showing at Belushi's because I think that was the game on Sky Sports. Just really disappointed in the Falcons, really disappointed in the offense. And to be fair, credit to the Eagles. I thought their defense played super well. And the others, we'll get to a bit later. Joel, your losses, your incorrect picks. There were 3 of them. It was you picked the Vikings over the Bengals, the Patriots over the Dolphins, and Green Bay over New Orleans. So those were your 3 correct picks.
Now that was my wild one that you would have thought hell would freeze over before a performance like that happened for Green Bay, especially after Aaron Rodgers coming off a MVP year. Green Bay, going through their things the whole off season. Obviously, left tackle Bakhtiari's on the IR, or he's not expected at least to week like 5 or 6. But I didn't think that was going to be that big a deal. But I think it was more mentally a bigger deal than it was actually physically, because for some reason, on pass attempts, there were just no completions. I don't know what it is. I still don't know why. Obviously, I think it's mentally, but Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a game like that in years.
When you, especially when I watch the Jags, when you watch shitty teams on offense, you're like, they make it so hard to gain easy yardage. And on defense, it's like, oh my gosh, they lose yardage so easily. And that's what it felt, so disjointed. And I was like, wow, maybe this is a wake-up call. That's like the generic like overreaction, but
yeah, 100%. And that's not to take away from what the Saints did.
Yeah,
because Jameis Winston played a great game. The things are clicking offensively for the Saints. Obviously, New Orleans is going through a tough time right now, recovering from a hurricane.
Yeah.
But what this has shown is, as an organization, they've been through it before, and it like really, obviously, it's like different and it doesn't really make sense, but for some reason it just makes sense. They've been through it before as an organization, so this time it's not like affecting them, even though it's obviously different players and all that. But what they do in these kind of situations, because that was the year they won the Super Bowl, I believe.
Yeah.
In these situations, when like the city of New Orleans is going through a tough time, Louisiana, the state, is going through a tough time, for some reason the Saints, like, they take it upon themselves to be like, we're not going to be an issue during this time. Like, we're going to be amazing. Jameis Winston comes in. For some reason, it's like prime Drew Brees. He's able to throw deep balls. I don't want to hear it. He brought it back. We saw what Drew Brees was doing last year.
Yeah, we're both in a similar thinking in terms of we both like Winston as an upgrade over Brees.
Brees. This is the new retired Brees. Please do not get us wrong. This is the new retired Brees that he is better than.
Yeah,
not
definitely last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. What Drew Brees was last year, Jameis Winston is an upgrade. We both felt going into the season that could be a thing. So, with all that being said, Joel, you did win 10-6. And you take a 1-0 lead going into this year. We're hoping this year doesn't end up being tied. No, it can't be tied because there's 17 games. Yes, good. Exactly. Cool. That is it. The recap for week 1. We'll be back with the predictions for week 2. Boom.